Imagine a young girl struggling at home, hates her parents, gets involved with a boyfriend too early. Life's advancing too fast for her, growing up way too fast, gets in the wrong hands. Some pervert finds her, develops a relationship, develops trust. Your daughter's gone. She may live with you, but she's mentally gone. She's given her heart to someone else. She's no longer daddy's little girl, assuming there is a dad. Your girl is gone, and she's in the hands and under the control of a monster. My name is Cory and I am currently the vice president of the board. I think it's been 8 years that I've been here. My initial attraction to the Demand Project wanting to serve was from the law enforcement side, and I can tell you why. I'm retired from the military. I worked for the Air Force Intelligence Agency as a Spanish linguist with a focus in counter-narcotics. And if you kind of put two and two together, you think about where the drugs are coming from in this world. I spent a lot of time there, and our mission was to simply eradicate these drugs before they come to the United States. And what we never really realized back then, and I was only 20, 21, 22 years old when I started doing this, is the United States military, in conjunction with the DEA and foreign governments, we do a really good job of defeating the enemy. We identify the bad guy, and that guy might be a cartel member, somebody who's bringing drugs to the United States, but we don't pay attention to everyone that we left behind. So it's one thing to drop a bomb, one thing to eradicate people, and then you realize that the kids were left behind. Those were the ones that were doing some of the slave labor, and we left these people behind and eventually created a trafficking business. And I think in many ways we kind of created or amplified trafficking in Central and South America. So when I found out that the Demand Project was focusing on these kids, it was almost like a little bit of guilt that because of previous experiences that I had and knowing what our government was doing overseas, we weren't addressing who was left behind. And I was thankful that Demand Project did that. But that's kind of, I was really drawn to the mission, is because I could feel like it was very personal to me that we didn't do what we really should have done. And I was thankful that somebody like Jason and Kristen were doing it. In my opinion, the primary purpose of our board is to provide a strategic direction and to ensure that finances are well, we have to be good stewards of the donations that come in. People ask all the time, how much money does it take to be successful and to accomplish the mission? The answer is simple: more. Really, it takes more. And then as just simply being a nonprofit that's associated with what we're doing, there's a constant spotlight being shined on. Are we doing things right? So our board is here to make sure that we are above board. What I really love about the Demand Project, as we see where the money goes, and I can assure you of this, nearly every penny of every dollar is poured back into survivors. There's nobody here getting wealthy. There's nobody here that has a nice car. There's nobody here that is overpaid. Everybody here is working because this is a mission. It probably could be a calling on their life and on their heart. We are squeezing every penny out of every dollar into making sure that we can fill those beds and take care of every kid that comes through the system here. So the board's very important, not only in providing where's the future source of revenue coming from, but are we being great stewards of the revenue that you guys have entrusted us with so far. I think most people don't understand this is happening right here in every backyard. And let's be real about this. This is a faith-based organization, and we all understand that this is not a battle against flesh and blood necessarily, but the rulers and principalities of this world. This is a Satan thing. Trafficking is winning, and it's a tough battle, but I would tell people this: trafficking is happening in Oklahoma, it's happening in your county, it's happening everywhere in the United States, and people need to be hyper aware and hyper vigilant. Well, what I like about the Demand Project, and I think what we do different from other entities that say they're in trafficking, is we have a 360 approach, if you will. We're actually talking and educating kids at a very early age, and the goal is don't be a victim. The goal is to help these young girls, 8, 10, and 11, understand every kid now has immediate access to the entire world through this. This is the problem. And the perverts of the world, and there are many, know how to get to our kids. So if we can get to our kids first and let them know that there's a threat, there's a danger, he doesn't look like the boogeyman. He looks like the guy down the street. He looks like the guy driving packages to your door. They come in all shapes and sizes. But if we can expose these kids to the reality that the threat is real, it's right here in some of the safest cities in America. There's perverts and there's nasty people everywhere chasing our kids. That's what the Demand Project does different. We're out in schools. We're talking to these people before they're ever victims. Look at the Epstein case. We're a couple months into this Epstein thing. How many people have been charged? How many people are doing hard time? How many people have suffered? I don't know of too many. And it's getting swept under the rug because there's bigger politics in play. We got to get to the kids first because the big government isn't doing enough. Well, let's not beat around the bush here. Money makes the nonprofit world go round. We could always use more funds. More dollars means more survivors that we can take care of. More kids that we can put in a bed with a locked door where they feel safe. Not everybody has dollars to give. So the next best thing apart from dollars are skills and labor and time and money and your volunteer hours. So when you look at what it takes to keep the wheels running on a bus like this, we need healthcare, we need nurse, we need volunteers. Even just today, walking through this new space, trying to put in a washing machine. If a plumber really wants to serve the demand project but doesn't have the funds to necessarily write a check, man, come help us with some of this PEX pipe and put some fittings on and make sure that the wash machine doesn't leak. There are 100 ways that people can contribute. Doesn't always have to be a check. If you simply know how to clean, you got a cleaning business and you want to come out to Mount Aruka in the spring and help us knock down wasp nests. I mean, there's millions of things. Everybody who owns a home knows how hard it is to take care of them. Come see what we have at Mount Aruka, where we have all these cabins out in the middle of the woods in Oklahoma. You can imagine the upkeep. Money is great, but humans being involved and starting to see and getting a passion for what we do to where it's more important to them, and then they can share it with their network of friends and their community is really important as well.